we wanted the title to reflect the fact that most of what is in the film is about human interaction with water or shaping water to our needs. And so Watermark, the idea of marking water, shaping water, it seemed to sort of do that perfectly in some way. And it's also about leaving a trace, right? And more than a trace in some cases. So it seemed a metaphorical enough title that brought in those aspects of the human relationship with water. It's not just about water as a force in it. Yes. I mean, no, exactly. I know. I knew all that, and so it was it was a way of kind of drawing attention to the fact that this is about relationship, not just the force, not just the substance, not just the resources of people. I wouldn't say so much that it's hidden because that implies that there's something covert about it, that we're hiding it because we're trying not to let people know that it's there. It's more like in the act of witnessing or experiencing these places that we go to in the film, you as the viewer enter into a kind of complex relationship with the ideas that are being presented by that story, and that in itself, simply spending time there or witnessing places you are connected to in some way in many cases but would never normally see, is a political act, because it is about opening your eyes to those places, the tannery, the dam, and I think that so the political message, if it was didactic and overt, there you would be able to have it's a yes or no kind of situation. There's no complexity in the conversation. It also doesn't let the viewer reflect and self-reflect in a way that is about, here I am in this place, here I am, and complete the meaning in some way. I'm not going to judge or tell you what to think about something. We don't do that in any of our films. Sometimes to great, criticism. So what's your message here? It's like, the message is what it is. It is what it is. We're inviting you into this stream, and what you take from it is what you take from it. But it is a political act simply to witness and to be there. I'm interested in stories that have an inherently cinematic quality, and I don't just mean that they're beautiful to look at. I mean that they have the capacity to have meaning in the medium of film. And there's a lot of things that don't. There's a lot of things that would be better as a book, and it's actually quite difficult dealing with still photographs, because you would think that because both mediums are visual, you just put one in the other and that's it. Well, that's a failure. If you don't find a way of translating intelligently that medium into another, what's the point of making a film about it? And I will say that in this case, in Manufactured Landscapes, it was all about translating scale in time. In this film, Ed decided from the beginning that he needed elevation to understand water. So all his photographs, most of the photographs, are aerial photographs. They are taken from the sky. Planes, helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, lifts, anything where he can get elevation is what he needed to express the scale of water and water's reach. But it became very clear to me from the very beginning that if you stay up in the air like that, you'll float away. You can't stay up there. You have to be rooted in the ground. And there has to be some kind of a dialectic between the particular and that wide view, or it doesn't work. So our goal became cinematically to find the narrative threads and the stories and the people interacting that gave that wide view meaning, and this back and forth all of the time. So that became the rhythm of the film. And that was the cinematic expression of what could have just been a photographic essay. There's also illumination through juxtaposition. So the opening shot, which is vast amounts of water being released, becomes the dry delta. And the tannery of Dhaka and the effluent that goes directly into the river becomes the pristine watershed of northern British Columbia. In this case, what was interesting to me is that the music carries you across in a way. I feel like it's the emotional apex of the film in some way, that transition, because it is two different ways, both equally powerful ways of interacting with water on a spiritual level. And I'm not making a judgment that one is dumb and one is not. They go together. They're similar in that way. And the joyfulness of those girls turning cartwheels on the beach is not dissimilar to the joyfulness of the girl who's bathing, washing her away sins of the Ganges. And so those two things came together in a really nice way. They're not meant to be a stark contrast. They're meant to be two different ways. They're different. That's true.
Contribution.
And that is the point of that. If you want to submit to that journey around the world as a viewer, and I don't think you can come out of that without some kind of an expanded consciousness about our place in the relative scheme, and also an expanded consciousness about things that we may take for granted. And you've been to Dhaka or the Delta, and you see that drought or that pollution, it's hard to turn on a tap the same way again and drink a glass of water. And I still can't do it, it's been whatever. So I'm hoping that it has an effect like that. And that's the beginning of change, is a shift in consciousness, I think.